Hey everyone, Mackie Barr here with Timberline Inspections, and today I wanted to go over a few things on getting ready for your home inspection. So you've got your house ready for sale, your realtor's giving you some ideas as far as getting some landscaping, some painting done, things like that to make it have a little bit more sales appeal. And then there's two things that you still got to worry about. You still got to worry about the appraisal, and then you got the home inspection coming up. So a lot of little things wrong with the house will scare a buyer off, even if they're each only $10, $20 fixes, especially if you've got somebody moving into that house that doesn't know how to repair small things. So today we're going to go over our top 10 list of issues that we see on the home, and these are kind of broad categories for these lists. So, but this is top 10 things to do before you have your home inspection. First thing is windows and doors. Check every window and door in your house. Make sure they each open. Make sure all the latches and everything opens and closes. Every single time we run across those, we have to ding it, and then that's just one more little thing that they see on that inspection report. So make sure that the windows open and close, the doors can shut and operate smoothly. Usually it's 10 minutes with a screwdriver and you can adjust those issues. And with the windows, often that's a lender requirement that you have one window open in each house, whether it's VA, FHA, USDA loans. Oftentimes that'll be a requirement that you have one window per room be able to open in the house. So because of that, we want to make sure that we address those issues beforehand, get that out of the way before you get to your home inspection. Okay, number two, roofs and drainage. So your roof, you'll accumulate debris on there. You'll get your gutters clogged. I had one house where I pulled out an oak tree that was growing out of the gutter because they had so much sediment and debris in that gutter. So go through your house, clean your gutters, clean off the roof, make sure all that stuff is off there, make sure the downspouts are clear, and then put those little splash blocks at the bottom. Some inspectors require that, some don't, but that splash block ideally should be there so that way you're not getting gigged no matter who the inspector is. You go ahead and get that issue taken care of now. Okay, number three, HVAC systems. Check the condensate line. Your condensate line is that PVC line coming out. If it doesn't have a condensate trap, it needs one. Go ahead and put one in there. Also put a T connection in there so that way you can have a way to pour. Usually people recommend bleach or vinegar or something to kill the bacteria elements in there, whatever the recommendation is from the inspector. But you want to be able to kill that, and you also want to be able to look through that T connection. That's what that's for. It's a viewport, so you can see that the water's running. That'll help the inspector out, help it move faster, and it'll keep you from having any type of remark on there about that. The other thing to do is make sure that your HVAC system is serviced. Have a fresh service on there, and when you have a service, make sure a good service technician. Don't go to one of the radio advertisements that's $39.95. They're not worth a damn. Get a decent technician out there to go through your system. Number four, concrete. If you've got concrete at your house, what you do, you have foundation, you have brick walls, whatever it is, find all the little cracks, all the little nooks and cracks in there, and seal those cracks up. Make sure every single one of them is nice and sealed. Not with caulk. Caulk actually tends to hold gravel in there and it'll make thermal expansion cracks worse. You want to have a qualified masonry contractor come out there and seal up all those cracks. Again, it's one of those things that's just an eyesore. More times than not, they're cosmetic. If you have horizontal cracks in your wall, the advice is to go get a structural or a foundation specialist out to your house to evaluate it. Typically, horizontal cracks are a much bigger issue. Vertical cracks tend to not be quite so bad. Okay, number five, decks. If you have decks at your house, you have typically what you have is you have rotten boards, you have exposed nails popping out. You'll generally have typically some blocking and bracing issues underneath. So let's address a few of those. Okay, go ahead and make sure all the boards that you have, all the rotten boards removed. Make sure that you have good spacing in between those boards to allow water drainage. Make sure all the nails and screws have been reset in there. And then if you're wise, you go ahead and put a fresh coat of whatever sealant, paint, primer that you have on there. Go ahead and put, or whatever finish you have on there, go ahead and put a fresh coat on there. Get it looking nice. It'll help your realtor out in selling it. Number six, siding. Siding is one of the issues that more times than not it's a cosmetic issue, but it's a big cosmetic issue because people know that it's going to cost them more when it comes time to repainting it. You have gaps in your siding as each piece of siding butts up to each other. Seal those gaps. Those should be sealed with caulk. If you're going to seal those, you typically are going to have to repaint. So keep that in mind. But go ahead and seal those joints up in there. It's probably not a bad idea to have your house repainted. It'll also, again, help your realtor out. It helps you want to skimp on the amount of money that you spend on getting your home repairs done because you're moving, but it ends up biting you in the end and you pay for it anyways. So go ahead and get it knocked out. It'll help your house sell quicker and typically for more money. So that siding, make sure all the joints are sealed. Make sure all rotten siding is removed. Make sure any loose siding is nailed up, and make sure that any nails that have actually popped back out get reset and sealed. Again, a lot of that is going to be done when you have a paint job done on the house, but typically you'll have better luck getting that house out of your hands if you go ahead and paint it. You see a house that needs painting, that buyer sees a house that has a hell of a lot of work that needs to be done. Okay, number 7, smoke detectors. Make sure all your smoke detectors work. Very first thing. If they don't have fresh batteries, go ahead and put fresh batteries in. If they're not hardwired in, they're supposed to be hardwired in, so I would go ahead and look at having that done. But the big thing is make sure that you have one in each bedroom. That's the one that I see people miss all the time, especially on older homes. We don't have them in the bedrooms. You have to have them in the bedroom. I think it's overkill personally, but you do have to have it. So go ahead and knock that out and put that in there. Okay, number 8, attics. Check your attics for leaks. If you've got any sheeting up in your attic that has a gray stain on the backside, chances are you've got a leak on the other side of it. You're going to have to pull those shingles back. You're going to have to replace that sheeting. The inspector's going to knock you for it. You're going to have to do it anyways. Go ahead and get it done and get that stuff taken care of while you have time, and you can pick the contractor that's doing it. Okay, so make sure that portion of it's good. Check the outlets and check the lights that are in the attic. If you don't have those, you can think about installing them, but it more than likely wouldn't require them. But make sure that you've got a fresh bulb up there. Make sure that the the light actually does work. Make sure all your junction boxes are closed. You're going to have open junction boxes. I see that all the time, open junction boxes. Make sure those are sealed up. It's 30 cents for a new plate to cover those. Go ahead and make a trip, make a list of all this stuff, go to Home Depot and put that together. Number 9, electrical. Test all your GFCI and AFCI devices. Okay, AFCI wasn't required in older homes, but GFCI has been required for a long time, and GFCI is going to be required regardless because it's a big safety issue. So they're typically going to ding you for it one way or the other. Bathrooms, kitchen, exterior, laundry rooms. Laundry rooms has been added, so that's one that you may or may not have. That was added the last couple of years. Garage, and typically basements, depending on how they're finished out. But those are the areas that you have to have those GFCI. Make sure those GFCIs will trip and then reset. So all you got to do is walk around to each one of them. I can't tell you how many times I popped one and have it not actually reset. Now we're going to have a different tool to actually test them with. We'll have an AFCI trip, a GFCI device, whatever it is, and we're going to test that a little bit different than you probably will. But that's okay. You'll take care of 99% of the issues if you just go through and pop each one of them and make sure that they pop and actually reset. If they don't reset, you need to get a new one. Number 10, here's the other big one, plumbing. Make sure that you have no leaks in your plumbing. Check outside by the main shutoff. A lot of times that line there coming from the right off of your meter, a lot of times that'll get a small leak in it. So go ahead and check that line. Get underneath your house and make sure that everything in your crawl space, that nothing's leaking down there. Can't tell you how many times people say there's nothing leaking. They get mad for me when there's a big water stain underneath their house. That'll cause rot, especially as a house ages. You'll get a lot more issues down there with it. So make sure all those plumbing lines have good joints on them. Make sure everything's sealed. Don't just do those temporary Band-Aid seals. Go ahead and put a good one on there. At the end of the day, you don't want to fix something just to cover it up, sell the house. And I know Alabama's a buyer beware state, but somebody can come back to you for that. So go ahead and take care of it now and not have it be an issue. Have it fixed right, have it fixed once, and be done with it. So we're going to give you 2 bonus ones with this. Appliances. Just make sure all your appliances work. If you don't have working appliances or you have extra loud, especially the dishwasher, I hear the bearings and those wearing out all the time. If you have a very loud dishwasher, it's probably going to behoove you to go ahead and replace it. We're going to give you that one as a bonus. I'm also going to give you one final one as a bonus. Dryer vents. And the reason I'm bringing this one up is because dryer vents are horribly wrong down here in Chilton County. We see it all the time. But dryer vents underneath houses, it cannot be that corrugated vent pipe that you use from the dryer vent connection in the laundry room to the dryer itself. It has to be a straight wall pipe. They have ones that are specifically approved for that. So underneath that house, it needs to be a straight wall pipe. And the reason for that is because that other pipe is a fire hazard. It can catch lint. As soon as that inspector says fire hazard, that buyer is going to go buy. And he's going to buy a different house. So you need to make sure you take care of that and get that one settled. Guys, that's all I got today. This is Mackie here with Timberline Inspections. I appreciate you watching. And guys, if you need a home inspection, you're in the Birmingham, Alabama area, give us a call, 205-258-9203. Thanks.